So where we normally start in LinkedIn is we show people how to set up LinkedIn for yourself. And I'm going to do that. But what I want to start with today, and what we're going to focus on, is I want to show you the 3 major challenges in LinkedIn that nobody talks about. And unless you're aware of these 3 challenges, no matter how much training and no matter how much effort you put into LinkedIn, you are consistently going to have a problem. And you are going to consistently find that no matter how well you set it up and how well you follow all of the teachings available there, that you still don't get the results that you want. So what I want to do is I'm going to share my screen with you, and I'm going to hop over into my LinkedIn, and I'm going to start taking you through these 3 challenges today. And if you can face these challenges and start implementing solutions to that, you will get results. You absolutely will get results. Now, I'm going to highlight the challenges, and I'm going to show you how to, what solutions we're going to implement. And then in future webinars, I'm going to start detailing these solutions for you in depth, so that you can see how to overcome these challenges. Now, the first thing is, and I always refer to this, when you are in your LinkedIn after you logged in, you're always on your home page. LinkedIn is very, very clever, and I always enjoy the fact that no matter where you want to go in LinkedIn, there's always 2 ways. So you can either go to your profile via this site, or you can go to your Me tab and you go to your profile. Here is your first challenge that you have on LinkedIn. And I'm going to show you how this works. Every single person that opens a LinkedIn account, every single person on this webinar today is a seller. You are on LinkedIn to sell your stuff. So nobody opens a LinkedIn account with the idea of, let me go and see what I can buy. So you are sitting in a seller's market. You are sitting amongst a bunch of people that is going to look at you as their ideal client. So they are not going to land on your profile looking at what it is that you offer. They are looking at your profile to see how they can sell you their stuff. So this is the major challenge that we have in LinkedIn. Every single person is here for their reasons, not yours. And this is where the first and the major issue comes in, and that is why we as LinkedIn specialists pay so much attention to your profile, because what you need to establish with your profile is you need to be able to go in and change the mindset from a seller's mindset to a buyer's mindset. And this is why we set up our LinkedIn profiles in this very specific way. Because if you fail to be able to get people to move from a seller's mindset to a buyer's mindset, they're just going to leave. Now, as if that is not enough, that is your challenge, you've got 3 seconds to do it in. So when a person lands on your profile, he is within 3 seconds going to decide one of 2 things. Either he's going to decide you're not his ideal client and leave, or he's going to decide that he's seen something that intrigued him. He has seen something of interest that he wants to go and investigate more. In other words, he started moving his mindset to go from seller to buyer. And he's starting to feel that he's seeing something he wants to see. Now, let me show you how it works. If someone lands on your profile, he might come in here and maybe the word marketing in the banner just suddenly triggers something for him. It just triggers something that says, what is this? This person might be here because he's trying to sell me insurance or whatever, but suddenly something triggers it for him. And this is why on our banners we use what we call the soft advert, so that as the person comes in, and this is why it's very important that your keyword that you want to be found for must be in your banner, because this is the first trigger the person is going to get to say, I want to move, I get something here, maybe marketing. I am currently battling with finding clients. I currently have a problem with my marketing. I'm currently focusing on my marketing because lockdown has been relaxed and I want to go and see what's happening. So this is the trigger, but it's just the trigger. So now as we move down, we need to go and tell them what is in this for them with a very, very specific headline. And it's almost like, think about it like a funnel, because what is happening is you got him to pass the banner and he's still on the page, he's looking, he's interested. So the next thing that he wants to do is he's now going to see what it is that it is on offer for him. And this is why we always call out one specific ideal client. So the next thing that he's going to identify with is, I am a business executive. This is something for me. She's calling me out. So I get him to stay. The next thing is what he's going to get. Now he's past the fact that there's a marketing opportunity here for him. Now it says he can increase his sales opportunities by 45%. He's starting to move from a seller's mindset more and more to a buyer's mindset. He's starting to move across with this. And then you qualify it by what it is that you offer and how you achieve this for him. Now you have succeeded. You have succeeded in moving a person from a seller's mindset to a buyer's mindset if at this point he starts to scroll down. So now he is 70% almost there. You have got interest. You now have moved this person across. And the minute that he clicks on the see more in your about us, you have got this person to look at you as a solution to his problem. This is why it is so important, and there is so much emphasis on setting up your profile in the correct way. And in weeks to come, I am going to take you through 10 specific aspects in your profile that is critical in this. If you have set up your profile and so on, you don't get results. This is one of the major things I have seen in our LinkedIn Done For You service that we do for our clients. What happens with them is, unless we get this 100% right, you lose people. And I'm also in weeks to come going to show you how you can actually, because remember, I always say LinkedIn is a science, how you can actually measure your conversion rate to see how successful you are in moving people from a seller's mindset to a buyer's mindset. The second problem that you have is, in order to find your ideal client, there are two ways that you can go search for them. You can either search for them for free, organically, using the LinkedIn search. So I can go into LinkedIn and I can go and search for my ideal clients in South Africa, and these are now people that will look for the word marketer or has the word marketer, or if I'm looking for finance and so on. So I can go search for people in this way. There are additional searches in here that in weeks to come, I'm going to show you how all of these work. So this is one way that you can now go and search for your ideal client, or you can go into a sales navigator kind of search, and you can go and search for your ideal client in a more specific way if you pay for a sales navigator option. Now, people wrongly believe that what happens is they have found their ideal clients. It is so easy for us as marketers or LinkedIn specialists to go in and say, I have found my ideal client. There is so many of them on LinkedIn, or there's almost 800 million users on LinkedIn. Obviously, I will find my ideal client. Not necessarily true, because if you go into any number of users on LinkedIn, what I want you to notice, you have seen my profile. Look at this profile. There's no banner. There's nothing that tells me what he actually does. And if you look at his about us, it's a small little paragraph and so on. We are dependent on finding our ideal clients on LinkedIn based on the information they have provided in their profiles. So if I look for a CFO, or a CIO, or a HR manager, and the person hasn't completed his profile properly, I will not find him. And this is an area that I find that a lot of people battle with, because what happens is they go into LinkedIn with the absolute belief that they're going to find the right people, and then they battle to find the right people when they do their searches, because they want to have people with very specific profiles. And you are only going to get people that has completed their profiles in the correct way, providing all of that information to LinkedIn, so that you can in actual fact find them. If the person hasn't put in enough information in his skills and so on, and you are looking for something that he actually does or have, then you're also not going to find this person because he hasn't mentioned it. So we are reliant on the data that LinkedIn has with these people based on what they have filled in. Now, the way to overcome this challenge is through content and messaging, because you can't just rely on a search. So what you need to do is you need to create content that's going to do what I call edutainment. In other words, you're going to have to do content that's going to educate people on what it is that you do for them. It's always about them. It's never that I do marketing, I do LinkedIn done for you, I do webinars, I do training. It's never about me, it's about you. It's about what you want and the benefits that you're going to get from what I offer. So if you go out with content in that fashion, and you then start training people through your content, and you distribute that content as far and as wide on LinkedIn as you possibly can, you stand a better chance to find your ideal clients than just through a search. Messaging is another way, and there is an AIDA model message that I do that I will teach you throughout these webinar series, where you can ask your connections to help you to distribute your message so that you can find your ideal client. There's a good saying that says, like follows like. You will find a lot of people in my network that is also marketers, because we help each other, we learn from each other, we work together. So if you're looking for a specific marketer, but I only do LinkedIn, and maybe you're looking for someone that does content or Facebook, the likelihood that I know someone like that is great. So if you message me and say, Tilly, do you know anybody that does Facebook advertising? I could probably help you because I know someone. You might go for a search on there, but you don't find the right people. But because you know I'm in marketing, the likelihood that I can help you. So this is where messaging then plays a huge role. Now, the third area and the third challenge that you have, I just want to take you back to my LinkedIn is, and this is something that was really baffling us for years, absolute years. I have been doing this for the last 15 years, and we have noticed over the years that this works for some and others it doesn't. We give the recipe, we give the structure, the configuration of what you need to do for everybody. And then we find that for one person, LinkedIn will be an absolute charm, but the next person still gets nothing. And we couldn't understand it. And we in the beginning used to turn around and say, well, maybe it is just because it works for some and some it doesn't. Or, you know, there's some people that will get results in LinkedIn and some people that don't. And it was really something that baffled me, because I loudly advocate that LinkedIn is a science. And if it's a science, then there should be a method to make this work for everybody. I find sometimes in my business that I would get a client and we will start marketing for him. And from day one, we just churn out sales opportunities like you can't believe. Just from day one, everything just falls into place. And day after day, we send him 2, 3, 5, 6, 7 messages with sales opportunities and people that he can contact and speak to. And then we get clients that we maybe get 1 or 2 or 3 in a month, and we just can't get it working. And after a lot of investigation and really going and delve deep into it, we cracked the code, and it's a very, very difficult code to crack. And what happens is, and it was actually by chance that we stumbled on this little gem, because we teach people how to set up their profiles and everything else, and we teach people, every single person, the same way. Some it works, some it doesn't. Some it works, some it doesn't. And then we had an opportunity where we had 2 companies doing exactly the same thing. They had the same products, the same services. They were both in IT, offering exactly the same products. And they both were in the same city, in Johannesburg. So, and they both were targeting the same clients. So it was almost 2 identical clients. It worked for the one, it didn't work for the other. And with the one, we had immediate results. And for the next one, we battled. And this is where we realized where the problem comes in. And I'm going to show this to you. And again, this is a series, and this is actually where I would like to start with the education, because this is one of the biggest problems I see in LinkedIn. We teach that LinkedIn is a funnel. In other words, it always starts with your profile. So you attract people to your profile as your personal branding, because people buy from people. In your personal branding, you develop a person-to-person relationship with your connections. Once that relationship has developed, you then introduce them to your company page. And your company page, this is the second layer in the funnel, is where you're now going to educate them on what your business does. In other words, this is now business to business branding. So this is where you're going to teach them where how your business can solve solutions and problems for them. And this is the second layer then in your funnel. The third layer in your funnel is the group, where you go in and you establish a group where you are a like-minded group of people working together to solve specific problems. Like in my group, we focus on customer experience focused marketing, which is relationship marketing that I also teach. So this is the funnel that we work in LinkedIn. We go and find new connections, build it into a personal branding, then into a business branding, and then we have the intimate relationship, and from here we develop leads. Well, for those that's been on my training, there's a second type of funnel in here that I want to introduce. We again start with personal branding. And what happens with the personal branding is we build the relationship just like with our first funnel. We're going to go and from our personal branding, once we've established the relationship, build the business branding, and we're going to take the people into our business and explain what the business can do. This funnel, this second funnel we have, the third layer, which is almost like an A-B layer, the third layer is going to the website. Now this is where the problem comes in with the third challenge that I want to highlight to you today. And we have, after a lot of investigation, found the problem. The problem is the brand messaging coupled with your personal branding, business branding, and your website is out of sync. In other words, what you are saying in your personal branding, in your profile, the problems that you are solving for people versus what you are telling people you can do in your business branding versus what people are finding on your website isn't a one strong, congruent message. In other words, what you're saying on your profile solves one problem. What you say on your business page, on your LinkedIn page, solves a different problem. And when they get to your website, it's a third area that has a different message. So what is happening is you're creating a lot of confusion. And this is why, for some people, Even though they've done our training, they've done the webinar courses, they've set things up the right way, and everything is working fine, yet they still don't get results. The reason why you will not get results is somewhere in these funnels that we are creating. You are creating confusion. And it is not, instead of having your personal branding with a very, very strong message of what you personally, as the brand ambassador, as the representative of your business, what you can do for your customers, for your clients. What is the problem that you can solve? And then you strengthen that by taking them to the second layer and tell them how your business message is supporting this personal message. And just to make sure that they fully understand the whole picture, you take them to the website, the details, the methods of how you achieve that. So I want to urge you today, if you have got a very optimized profile, if you have gone through all of this, and even if you haven't, the third challenge that I have noticed that more closely with our clients, why we sometimes get results and not, is because you're not building this funnel with the idea of, this is my message in my personal capacity, in my profile. I'm strengthening this message with my page message. I'm strengthening that message with my website message. So have a look at your structures when you start with your marketing on LinkedIn, and make absolutely sure that everything is in line. I'm just going to recap for you. There are 3 challenges on LinkedIn that you have to overcome in order to be successful on LinkedIn. You have to set up your profile in such a way that you move your visitors from a seller's mindset to a buyer's mindset. The second challenge is you need to understand that a search is probably going to offer you around 70% of your ideal clients on LinkedIn. To get the cream of the crop and get everybody, you're going to have to invest in a very strong content and messaging strategy so that you can reach everybody out in LinkedIn and start building those relationships. The third challenge that you have is make absolutely sure that you decide on the absolute one message that you're going to go into market, into LinkedIn. Have that message on your profile, and then use your page to strengthen that message, to show them how you have got a whole business structure behind you that can deliver on the solutions of the problem you identified. And then make sure that in your website, you have the structures clearly in place, that they can see how all this will fit together and how you can help them. Guys, I hope you found value in this.